TWU, for example. You want Germany, or you want just China. China large cap. In China, you don't necessarily want to invest into stocks that are not traded in Hong Kong, because what goes on in Shanghai stock market, where uh, uh, foreigners actually are not allowed to trade directly, that's different. Suppose you want to invest only in large stocks that are also traded in Hong Kong, and you want to do that on a leverage basis. I like the name of this thing. It's Yin. It's 3x leverage exposure. If you want to invest $300,000 into China, buy $100,000 worth of this. That's the same thing. And this is the bull. You probably guessed if you want to be bearish in China, negative 3 times, the ticker for that is Yang, Yin and Yang. I mean, about as late as October, it was $38. Now it's 8. It's 3 times leveraged. That means if China goes down by 10%, this goes down by about 30%. You can invest into commodity ETFs. For example, I think natural gas prices are too depressed. Let me show you how depressed they are. All right, what was I? CNBC. Well, natural gas. Come on. This is a graph for 1 year. Of course, there was war, so they did go up. But as late as August, they were trading around $9.50. It's now $2.40. Okay. I personally believe that it's going to go up. Well, there is actually a ETF for that. In fact, this is leveraged version. There's those unleveraged versions, but if you have the leveraged versions, you might as well go for it. You just invest half of that, what you would otherwise invest. I mean, I bought some of these shares on Friday, actually. It's made some money, but it's going to make even more. For example, on this one, my strategy is a covered call, short-term covered call, because I like this stock over the long term. And right now, I sold until February 17th, any performance above $7. So if it goes above $7 by February 17th, I have to sell my 400 shares at $7. Well, I bought them at 573, so I'm not gonna cry too much about it. But if it goes to $10, it's like, oh man, I could have made more. But for that, I got about 45 cents per share as option premium. So my effective cost is actually 5.28 or so. On 17th, I'm going to roll that option strategy again. I call this milking the cow. I was giving I gave some training to some of the investment banks in Turkey. because they wanted to be active in options trading. I wanted to do an analogy they, that they would relate to. Think about a farmer who has a cow, right? More often than not, you have the cow, you feed that cow. When it comes to a certain weight, you sell it, or you slaughter and sell the meat. Either way. But until you get to that point, this is a cow. Let's call it a male cow, so a heifer. You can milk that cow, right? And sell the milk. The idea is kind of here like that. I like this thing in the long term. In 1 to 2 years, I believe this stock can go above $100. That's my view. I may or may not be right, but that's my view. But until then, I'm not going to sell this stock. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to milk this cow and sell the milk. That 1 week option premium I get is the milk. I call this milking the cow strategy. Since this is 2x, it's effectively leveraged. I buy one cow with my money, I borrow some money, and I buy another cow with somebody else's money, and I milk both of the cows. In the meantime, when I sell, I pay back my original loan. That's kind of the idea behind this. So even in commodities, you have stuff. Oh, you can also do the short version of that. And ETF for that is cold. My girlfriend told me about this about 3 weeks ago. I didn't do anything about it. About 3 weeks ago, this was, 30s. What are you going to do? But then I realized look at the performance in 1 year. This thing was 147. This was about the time the war between Russia and Ukraine started. It went as low as $12. Now it's 67. I don't think it's gonna go down too much, go up too much after this, but it could. Other commodity ETFs, you have oil. Guess what? That's for crude oil. You have GLD for gold, SLV for silver, and you can search for other commodities if you want. You have ETFs for different kinds of bonds. Again, if I type bond ETFs, let's see, let's do this. For example, JNK. An ETF for junk bonds. This is BB and single B rated. You have investment grade, LQD. I think TLT This is for treasury bonds that have 20-year or more maturity. There's treasury. For example, this is TMV. Negative 3x 20 plus year treasury bonds. So if you believe that interest rates are going to go up and you want to benefit from that without going into options and stuff, buy TMV. But you should kind of realize what sort of return profile it has. Normally that TLT has a bond portfolio that has a duration of about 18 years. So TME is going to be negative 54. That means for each basis points move in the bond yields, value of TME is going to go up by about 0.54%. If the bond yields move by 10 basis points, that thing is going to go up by 5.4%, approximately. There's also the bullish version of that.